Talk Radio.
Warning. Due to the political and controversial content of this show, Global Fact Radio presents this information for educational purposes and accepts no legal liability. This information has not been verified by Global Fact. Global Fact recommends that each individual does his or her own research.
You're listening to Global Fact Radio.
All right. Welcome to the show. My name is Gian Roberts, and my co-host tonight is Cornell Grady. And we want to welcome you to the New You radio show. And tonight we're going to be talking about Life Without Limits with K.L. Alston. We got him on the phone, and he's got some information to share with you, some upcoming events, and some, a little bit of information that you can use and apply in your life today. So, Cornell, can you say a few words?
Yes. Hopefully everybody can hear me clearly. Man, this show, first of all, it's going to go fast as all get out because we are on the line with one of the most dynamic young men in America right now here today, and I mean that sincerely. First, the content that he has, his delivery, his style, his business ethics is just on top of the table. Everything is above and beyond some people's imagination. This guy's phenomenal, and I feel just blessed, privileged to have him in my circle of friends. They judge you based on the 5 people that you hang out with the most, based on your degree of success, and just knowing this guy is important to my process. So, hey man, Jeff, let's just get started. Let's make it happen.
All right, Mr. Alston, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. And I'll make sure that do you guys want big bills or small bills? I mean, that introduction there. I could have my people contact your people. I could send you big bills or small bills. Which ones do you want?
Now, if we go ahead,
we haven't even talked about your credentials yet.
I like big bills. Them big face bills is fine with me. But,
oh man. But yeah, it's definitely. I'm excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want to have fun.
I haven't even mentioned your credentials yet. I mean, you're a best-selling author, a certified master peak performance coach, an NLP practitioner. You have like a master's degree or something in brain science. I don't know. Just a little bit about
brain
yourself.
science. I've been very fortunate, and from an educational perspective, I have several degrees, and I do have a master's degree, and I am a certified master peak performance coach, peak performance and mental coach. So my area of expertise is performance, getting individuals to take action and move in the directions that they need to move in to accomplish the things that they truly desire to accomplish. And then also I have a certification in NLP. For those who are listening who may not be familiar with NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is basically simply stated as the art and science. And this is how I explain it. It's the art and science of how our brain functions and how our central nervous system functions and how these two entities work together to create our behaviors and things like that. So it's pretty cool stuff, especially in the realm that we work in. So, but it all helps in reference to what we do.
So last week we talked about fear, and some of the trigger points for somebody going into a state of fear is that their beliefs are in conflict. They believe one thing, and then they come in conflict with something that contradicts what they believe, and that kind of leads to a fear or kind of like freezing your tracks type of mindset. How can somebody work through that?
Yeah. I mean, and being very transparent. One of the things I like to be transparent, and Sometimes I may say things, people go, what? But, dealing with fear, I think fear is okay. It's okay to feel fear. In a lot of situations, people, when they feel fear, the thought is, well, I've got to get rid of that fear. And no, you don't have to get rid of it. I think, fear becomes a challenge when we allow that fear to prevent us from taking an action or making a decision that we should take and we should make. But fear is a healthy thing. Fear, when fear comes up, normally, we talk about fear and we talk about flight or fight, if you will. And that's a part of our subconsciousness that, when we believe we're under attack, or when we believe that we're kind of trading on things that we're not familiar with, then we go into that fear factor or that flight or fight, which is something that's been a part of us for, millions and millions of years, that reptilian instinct. But I think from a fear perspective, having a healthy dose of fear is not a bad thing. It's how we react to it, right? Because successful people, those who are out accomplishing the things that they truly want to, it's not the absence of fear. They feel fear just like anybody else, just like we feel fear. But the difference is, we don't allow that fear to prevent us from going ahead and doing the things that we know we need to do, the things that we, the decisions we need to make, the different types of things that we need to incorporate. We do it in spite of fear. But you're correct. That fear, it can become a situation where if it becomes overwhelming, then that's when it becomes a challenge.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked last week about that. Lots of times when you just have to face it, you just have to face into your fear. And then Cornell shared a little tidbit about his basketball skills and Michael Jordan and stuff like that.
Wait a minute. You said Cornell Grady and basketball skills. Do those words go in the same sentence together? I don't know.
Well,
we call that an oxymoron. I don't know.
Okay,
because he can stretch his arm and do.
Okay, hold. Let's make clear here. First of all, I made reference to Space Jam, the movie. Okay, but second, now Kevin Alston, KL Alston, you ain't seen my basketball skills, as well as I have produced a awesome champion in my son who is taking the basketball thing to a whole nother level. So let's not go there. Let's stay focused.
I apologize. I'm just saying. I apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But this is all good. Hey, man, one of the other things, Kevin, that I know that we wanted to get into, with the neurolinguistic programming, really the rareness of having a certification in this area, and even more so rare for a person of color to have this certification is just, really a big deal. But you understand the process of reprogramming the mind, even dealing with conditions like fear and some people with public speaking or whatever it is. But you have quite a bit of information, especially when it comes to your peak performance coaching. Give us a little bit about that. And then after that, go into a segue about some of your books. You got four books out there, man, and all of them are very profound in their particular area of expertise. But go for a moment to this peak performance. Just share with us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I believe in systems, if you will. Save yourself time, energy, and money, and things like that. So when I say systems, everything that we do, every behavior that we exhibit, every reaction that we exhibit, there's a reason for it. And normally what I share when I'm, let's say, bringing on a new person that I'm working with from a coaching perspective is, normally when a person is reacting a certain way or they're responding, it's not their fault. There's just things that are happening beneath the surface that they're not aware of. But once we start getting into a process and we start getting into a system, and they become aware of these behaviors, then now they become held accountable. Because you can't really hold the person accountable for something they're not familiar with, right? So let's, for example, look at emotions. I think it'll be a good avenue to kind of segue into it. Fear, joy, pain, happiness. And I tend to look at emotions as just being emotions. Some people tend to categorize them as bad emotions or good emotions, and I get that, and yes, that's valid. However, I tend to look at emotions as just emotions, right? So if I'm feeling fear, the thing I have to understand is, okay, why am I feeling this fear? What exactly is going on? Because normally if I'm feeling something, if I'm feeling joy or if I'm feeling pain or if I'm feeling anxiety, that's my subconscious mind kicking in and telling me that there's something going on that I need to be familiar with. There's something going on that's not quite, okay, you may want to pay attention to this. Because technically our subconscious mind really is there to protect us. It doesn't make decisions. It doesn't differentiate between people, places, or things. It basically does what we've taught it. And it's very important to understand the three stages of development, if you will. The first 21 years of our lives, the first stage being the imprint stage, which is from the time we're born up until we're 7. During that time of our lives, we're pretty much learning subconsciously 100%. We don't really have that consciousness yet. Consciousness meaning that our brain waves in that alpha brainwave pattern where we're consciously aware, we're understanding, right from wrong and good from bad, and we can make these different determinations about things that come up. We're pretty much learning subconsciously, and that's why a child learns so quickly. They're like little sponges. During that time of our lives, we learn things quickly. And most of what we learn comes from our environment. It comes from our homes. It comes from our parents, our mothers, our fathers. So during that imprint period, if you will, we're learning a lot, and we're learning just a tremendous amount of information. So then we go from that imprint stage, to the modeling period, or the modeling stage, which is from 8 to 13. And during that stage of our development, now we have a conscious awareness, meaning that, because of what we've learned up to that point, we can, we know right from wrong. We know kind of if I touch a hot pot, the outcome will not be that good. But also our learning now incorporates learning from our peers. If you watch a group of 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds, they form little cliques, and now we're learning from our peers. We're still learning from our environment at home and our parents, but we're incorporating now learning from our peers. And then we go into the socialization period, or socialization stage, which is 14 to 21. And the things that we encounter at that point. Now, remember, we're just stacking things onto that. We went through the imprint period where we're learning. We're going through the modeling period, stage. We're learning. So now this socialization stage, 14 to 21, we're still, we're building on the previous lessons. And then the things that we learn at this particular point in our lives impact relationships that we have from that point forward. So understanding the first 21 years are critical. That kind of helps an individual, because a lot of adults, we're still making decisions. We're still basing our lives off of a blueprint based on things we learned during those stages. And unless somebody comes in there and can break that pattern, especially if it's a pattern that's not producing the results that it needs to. Now, if you grew up in an environment, a nurturing environment, where you were given all the things you need, and you're operating at a highly functional level and you're accomplishing things, that's a great thing. But for someone who grew up in an environment where it was difficult and they didn't have those individuals that gave them the support and things like that can be a very difficult thing. So the reason I share that is because when we talk about fear, when we talk about emotions, when we talk about reactions, when we talk about decisions, when we talk about behavior, a lot of what a person is exhibiting in reference to a behavior, we could trace it back to something they experienced during a time of one of these periods. And the reason why that's so important is because we can only make decisions based upon the information that we've gathered. We can only make decisions based upon what we've experienced. So when we make a decision, we're making a decision based upon a belief. And that belief is something that we've reinforced over those years. So if that belief is not conducive to generating those results that we want at this particular stage in our lives, we're now 25, we're 30, we're 40, we're 45, we're still making decisions based off an old pattern, then we're going to continue to get the same thing. That's why there's so many people that they keep exhibiting the exact same behavior and they're getting the exact same results, and they don't understand why nothing is changing. Well, it's not changing because you're utilizing your brain, and your brain is what's causing the situation in the first place. So the thing you got to do is you want to use somebody else's brain. You want to connect with someone that's been there, someone that could help you move beyond your current, the current process or the current, where you are that you're stuck. You need someone to help you get unstuck. And that's why, coaching is such an important thing. A lot of people don't understand the importance of coaching. They don't understand that, wow, a coach would really be helpful right now. Top-performing athletes, top-performing entrepreneurs, top-performing people in business, top-performing individuals, they all have one thing in common. They have a coach. They have someone or a mentor. They have someone that they can lean on that can provide them with a different way of looking at things, a different way of responding, a different way of reacting. So the rabbit hole goes pretty deep. So we can, there's so many segments, so many pieces to this, but, when we're working with an individual or a company or an organization, the first thing we determine is what is their objective? What is it that you want to accomplish? And then we incorporate these pieces of the puzzle to help them get a better understanding of who they are. And then they start getting it, and then they start making different types of decisions. They start understanding, why I'm feeling anxiety, why I'm feeling fear. And then they're more equipped to deal with it and make better decisions that will put them in a better place.
I agree with you. Those old patterns are hard to break. Those blueprints that you're going off of, are outdated. And in this day and age, technology is changing, by the minute, and it's hard to let go of some of these old blueprints. So tell us about some of the resources that you have for people if they want to learn more about how they can change this old blueprint that they have.
Yeah, we have several books out. We've been very fortunate, and we have a couple of books out that are more so on the business realm. We do a lot of coaching in the realm of helping individuals who are in business or they're looking at starting businesses. And we have a couple of books out. One is entitled Things You Should Know Before and After Starting a Business. And then we also have a book out for those who may be they may be ministers or they may be clergy. We have a book entitled Things You Should Know Before and After Becoming a Minister. And both of these books are more so business books. They deal with, for example, the business book deals with the different business structures that you will encounter: sole proprietorship or partnership, limited liability companies, corporations. It kind of breaks down what those things are and the pros and cons of them, expenses that you can deduct, how and why they're deductible, marketing type things, accounting type things, payroll type things. And that's why we entitled it Things You Should Know Before and After, because it really gives you a firm foundation and gives you a lot of information that you need to know if you're looking at starting a business or if you're in business. And then the same thing with the one for ministers. It really outlines the responsibilities and the business aspect of operating the church. There's a faith responsibility. We understand that. But the church also has a fiduciary or a business responsibility. So this particular book outlines those things and gives a lot of good information to help an individual build a really good foundation. And then we have the two personal development books, one entitled Life is Not a Spectator Sport. There's a big difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. That book is based upon 7 success principles. For example, the first principle is, are your dreams and goals logical or emotional? And normally when I say that, people go, what do you mean? Well, if you get 100 people in a room and you ask the question, how many of you in here have dreams and goals? Pretty much probably 100 of them are going to raise their hands. But then when you ask that second question, okay, now, how many of you have those dreams and goals in writing? How many of you have those dreams and goals? They're written in a plan, and that's where the game changes. Now the hands start dropping. So, if you have dreams and goals, and you don't have them in writing, then what we call those are emotional dreams and goals. But logical dreams and goals are those dreams and goals that you've actually taken the time to outline, and you've written out a plan in reference to how to accomplish them. So there are 7 success principles that are in that book, Life is Not a Spectator Sport. And then each chapter or each success principle ends with an exercise. So not only are you reading, but you also, at the end, you have to do an exercise to help reinforce that lesson that you're learning. And then we just released a book this past spring, which is entitled Change is Simpler Than You Think. And the reason for that title is that change is simpler than you think. Change itself doesn't take a long time, but what does take a long time, in some cases, unfortunately, is the individual understanding and accepting that the change is necessary and that the change is required. So that book, it's really dealing more so from a neurological, psychological, and physiological perspective. A lot of the stuff that a lot of the techniques and tools that we utilize to coach, you will find those things in that book. Also, there are 18 different exercises that will help an individual make a tremendous shift from one behavior to behaviors that are more conducive to generating the results that they're truly seeking. So those are the 4 books that we have out. We also have 3 webinars that are coming up. All this stuff can be found on the website, www.klalston, that's www.klalston.com. But we also have a workshop that we're doing in Charleston, South Carolina, in the beautiful city of Charleston, South Carolina, on October 19th, which is entitled The Emergence, Living Without Limits. And it's a 3-hour workshop, and we're going to really have some fun, and we're going to really get in there and help individuals make some tremendous shifts so that the transformation that they need will be at hand. So when they leave there, they'll be pretty much equipped and prepared to continue to move in the direction that they truly want to move in.
What does the word emergence mean to you?
Well, emergence is because in my book, and let me explain it this way, I think this will really kind of capture the essence of what we mean by this. In my book, Life is Not a Spectator Sport, one of the things that I start out talking about is that child, right? When you ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? That child will tell you, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a teacher, I want to be whatever that child says. And the thing about that is that child truly believes that he or she is going to be that thing. They truly believe that. Children are phenomenal. I mean, that child says, I'm going to be a doctor. That child truly believes that. But then what happens when that child becomes the adult? What happens to those dreams and goals that child had? What happened to the dreams and goals that, growing up, I wanted to do these things? Well, what happened is that child is now an adult who has experienced life. And life can sometimes throw things at us, and if we're not equipped, and if we don't have a support system in place, or if we don't have the right mindset, it could really rock the foundation of who we are. So that child that once had the dream of being a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, or that child that once said, I want to change the world, I want to impact the world in a positive way, now what's happened is those dreams and goals are still there. That desire is still there, but it's buried beneath all the stuff that life has put on top of it, the difficult times, the pain, the hurt, whatever these things may be. So the word emergence means that what we're going to do is we're going to uncover. We're going to remove all the blockages, all the obstacles, all the garbage, all the stuff that's on top of your dreams and goals, so that the true essence of who you are, the true thing that you really want to be, it will emerge. And we're going to present you. We're going to give you the tools and the strategies that you need to not just be motivated, okay? Because we're not here to just motivate. Yeah, we understand. Okay, let's just keep it 100. Most people would rather be entertained than educated. But see, that's a major difference between successful individuals and unsuccessful individuals, okay? Successful individuals, they would rather spend money on being educated. Unsuccessful individuals, they'd rather spend money on being entertained. Now, please understand the scope of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that successful people don't do entertainment. I'm not saying that unsuccessful people don't do education. The point that I'm making is when you look at the compellingness, when you look at the seriousness and the attitude towards education, towards entertainment, you see a vast difference in thinking. So when we talk about emergence, what we're talking about is a shift. We're talking about a transformation. We're talking about uncovering and bringing up that true essence of who that person is. And that's what's going to happen during this workshop. I mean, we have 3 hours. We have, we're going to have a good time, but we're going to make some serious shifts. People are going to walk in there, and they're going to walk out different.
I got goosebumps going up my spine right now. That was amazing. It's an amazing idea, and so that's coming up this month. This emergence workshop.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday. It's on a Saturday, and our mission and our vision is to transform the world by transforming its people, its organizations, its companies, its corporations. That's our mission. That's our goal. That's our purpose. And that's what we do. Everything we do. Huh?
People can get more information at KLALSTON.com. Is that right?
Yeah. www.klalston.com. That's www.klalston.com. And we're very excited, and it's challenging. And the reason I say it's challenging is because it's sometimes getting an individual to take that first step, sometimes getting a person to make the decision to do what they know they need to do it's very challenging because, again, you get, a lot of people would rather be entertained. I mean, look at all the doggone reality shows, and I'm not knocking the hustle of reality shows. Reality shows, they do what they do. But when you look at the reality shows and all the stuff that's going on, it's like, wow, what makes these things so why do so many people watch them? Well, I think it's just the mere fact that it's like, wow, other people are experiencing difficulties just like I am, so I think it's a situation where people can go, wow, my life may be here, but man, these people's lives are way over here. But it's time for a change, and these workshops, they're for individuals that really want to do something different. When you come, if you attend one of our webinars or if you attend one of our workshops, you don't leave the same way you come in. It's you would literally have to fight to walk out of one of our workshops or one of our webinars the same person. You literally have to just put in your mind that, you know what, I'm just not going to listen to anything that they're saying. That's how powerful what's going to be done is.
Kevin, myself, I'm coming all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, to be a part of this. Got a lot of things going on here. We've been doing some wonderful things ourselves, but I'm coming all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, to be at and part of this event. And you said something just a moment is amazing. It's and it's sad at the same time that people have fallen in love with watching chaos. The majority of the reality shows is not helping people learn how to make their lives better. People are watching the reality shows to be entertained at somebody else's chaos. And, I have a question that I've been dealing with folks that is a beautiful question. How is not just a question, but how is an answer. You know, so I'm encouraging people to come out to this workshop because I know that they want to know how to have a better quality life. They want to know how to make a difference. And then I'm encouraging them that this is completely different than anything that they've ever experienced. So I just wanted to throw that tidbit in there. You can keep programming your mind with all of the craziness, or you can begin to program your mind with things that can give you answers and solutions to some of the problems that are for real in your life.
And you know, what you're saying is so on point. And you know, the thing we have to remember is, and this again, I like to keep things transparent. You know, some individuals, their life would not be life without the dysfunctionality. You know, and what I mean by that is sometimes people's lives, they define their lives by it. You know, I'll give you an example. I had a buddy called me one evening, and he was all heightened. You know, like, man, I need you to coach me. And I said, well, no, I don't think that's going to be a good idea. You know, and he was like, well, why not? Why not? I was like, well, because I know you, and this is someone that I've known for quite some time. And he says, well, I know you're good at what you do, man, so why won't you coach me? I said, well, let me refer somebody else to you. Because, you know, and then he's getting a little more agitated. So I said, listen, you're not going to listen to me the way that you need to because there's a familiar, you know, we're familiar with one another. And he said, no, I'll listen. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what. Okay, here's the first coaching session right now. I said, right now, I said, do you really want a solution to your situation, or do you just want to feel better right now? I said, because if you just want to feel better right now, I could say all the right words to make you feel better. And I promise you, when you leave off this conversation, when you hang the phone up, you will feel better. But I said, if you really want a solution to your situation right now, I said, I will make you two promises. Number one, you will not feel better in the beginning. As a matter of fact, you may feel even worse. But I said, I promise you this, as we come to the end of our coaching sessions, not only will you feel better, you will be permanently better. And then I sat back and I play a game that I call the next person who speaks loses. So I sat there quietly, and I wasn't going to say anything until he responded. And I heard him go, and I said, exactly. So we finished that conversation. He called me back the next day, and he said, man, you know what? See, man, I got to come clean. I said, what? He said, man, I just, when I called you, I just wanted to feel better. Now, I knew that. I knew that. And that's the situation with most people. Most people just want to feel better. They want to get away. They want to mask it, okay? It's like if you have a headache and you go to your cabinet, you grab aspirin. And when you read the back of the aspirin bottle, it tells you. It says, temporary relief. Temporary relief. Just read the back of it. It tells you right there in bold, in print, maybe not bold, but in print, that, this is temporary relief. So most individuals really, that's what they want, that temporary relief. That's why I believe drugs and alcohol and sex, I believe all these things, because sometimes people just need to get away. Sometimes, I'm just going to go to the club because they need to get away. They need to get away for only a minute. They just need temporary relief. I'm gonna drink this beer or whatever, or I'm gonna smoke this, or I'm gonna inject this. Whatever the situation may be, they just want to get away from whatever pain that they're experiencing at that moment. So, and I get it. I get it. I get it 100%. But there's a different answer. There's another way. And there's a way that this thing can be done where you don't get temporary relief. You will get healed. But the individual or the people or the person has to be willing to take the first step. It is much easier to pull someone than to push them. And as I let my clients know, when we first start working, we have a complimentary session, and during that session we're being very, very open because there are multiple things going on. Number one, I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want them to feel that I'm the right coach for them, and then I want to feel comfortable with them and understand that they're the right client for me. I don't just accept any client. Because, number one, you've got to be at least minimum 90% committed to your process. You can't be 85, minimum 90%. Because if I want your change, if I want your success, if I want whatever it is that you deem is best for you, if I want it more than you, then we have a problem. I can't want it more than you. There's nobody on this planet that wants my life better for me than me. Nobody on this planet. So that's why, there are three things that we bring to the table. We want to motivate you. Yes, motivation is necessary, but motivation alone won't cut it, because when the motivator leaves, shortly thereafter, motivation leaves. Yeah, you're motivated after this, but then 2 or 3 days later, life knocks on the door. And now what? So not only do we want to motivate you, because we've got to get you motivated, we've got to get you willing to take action now, but we also want to inspire you. Well, what do you mean by inspire? Well, if it's been done, guess what? We're going to do it. If it has never been done, guess what? We're going to do it. That's that inspiration. I believe, as a coach, sometimes you have to believe in your clients more than they do. And what I mean by that, I know that may sound like a contradiction, but if I'm your coach and if I don't believe in you, then I shouldn't be coaching you. And my belief in you is that everything you need, you have inside of you. All we've got to do is extract it. That's why you've got to be committed to the process. I believe in you, and I let my clients, I believe in you. And then the third thing is empowerment. We empower. Well, what do you mean by empower? We provide the tools. We provide the methodologies. We provide the techniques and the strategies that are necessary. Because once a person is motivated, once they're inspired, and then you add empowerment, now when the motivator is not there, maybe the inspiration may not be there at that moment. But when you have the proper tools, you can always call those things back up. So those are the areas that we tackle. We motivate, we inspire, and we empower, because that's our system. And all three of those components are critical. So going back to what you said, yes, sometimes people get away from their pain, and they get away from the dysfunctionality that they're experiencing in their lives by looking at others, and they go, woo, and if it's only even for a minute, that's relief for them for that brief moment. But, however, when they wake up, because here's the thing. People are just walking around in a dream state. It's amazing, but you can't hold them responsible, right? But once you present the information to them, once you provide them with the tools that are necessary, that they can incorporate to change their lives, now they become liable. Because most people don't understand why they do what they do. It's like an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg, that's the 5%. That's our consciousness. That's what we're aware of. But the other 95% that's beneath the surface, that's where all the action is taking place. That's where all the fun is. That's that subconscious part of us. So most of the time when we're reacting, when we're in our natural state, If you just, when a person is aware they're being watched, they could consciously modify their behavior. But when they're not aware they're being watched, or when something happens that is unexpected and they have to react immediately and they react subconsciously, that's the true behavior. Triggers. What triggers are being set off? What's been anchored? So, all these components are what we work with. And that's why we have such a success rate with what we do, be it individuals, be it organizations, be it companies, because we deal with it holistically from the inside out, and we cover every aspect of that particular thing. We don't leave any stone unturned, because from where a person is and where they want to be, in the middle of that, there are things called obstacles. And what we specialize in is removing those obstacles, eliminating risks, mitigating risks. And that's what we do.
But now, that was an excellent dissertation. That was an excellent dissertation.
Well, I apologize. I didn't mean to give you guys a dissertation.
No, that's fine. Actually, I got something that I want to, let's throw this one in the mix. One of the pieces of information that I know is very prevalent right now, and one of the first things that me and you came together on years ago now is the movie The Secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
And phenomenal movie, and the principles are excellent. But there are certain things that I share with a lot of the people that I deal with, coaching and training and mentoring, is way beyond the law of attraction. A lot of people I want to attract things in my life. I want to attract the things I want. But no one has really told them it's not just about attracting the things you want. What you generally attract is who you are. Okay? And that's why you have to learn how to reprogram who you are. Because you will emit, put off, put in the atmosphere, the universe, whatever words that is your words, you will put those things off, knowingly, unknowingly. But if you don't change from the inside out, and only you change based on, as you was giving an analogy, based on who's looking, who's observing, who may be capturing you, that's not real change. So one of the things I spend the majority of time working with and breaking down is how to change from the inside out, and how to begin or understand you attract what you are, not what you want, but now here's how to change or make that change so you can begin to get those things that you want, and it's literally by becoming something that you are not now, but you can be. With just a small change, you can be a completely different person. And you know and I know that most people don't get that the real difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, it's a very small margin. Very small margin.
Yeah, it's just a different mindset. I mean, for example, the average millionaire, and it's something this simple. A person that truly wants success, a person who truly wants change, they're willing to do whatever is necessary. They're willing to invest in themselves. Most people invest more money buying things to go on them than they do things that can go inside of them. And the late great Jim Rohn really said it best. I mean, I love this. I love the way he said it. He says, working on a job, and this is what the late great Jim Rohn said. He said, working on a job will make you a living. And there's nothing wrong with making a living. He said, but working on yourself will make you a fortune. So you're right, that small margin there. You know, the average millionaire, as I started out saying earlier, the average millionaire reads, 4 books a month. And of course these books include audio books because now we're in the digital age and, audio books are out there. But the average millionaire reads 4 books a month. The average person, 6 books a year. So there's a difference in understanding in reference to investing. You've got to invest in yourself. You've got to be willing to do those things that are necessary. And we've all heard the adage, successful people do things, in order to get what most people don't have, you've got to do what most people won't do. And that's what it is. But here's the thing. You have to have a compelling reason. I believe that a compelling reason changes the game. Well, Kevin, what do you mean by compelling reason? You have to have a reason that is so compelling, that is so important, that is so real, that if you don't accomplish that thing, something's going to happen. What is your compelling reason? What is it? What is that reason why your objective is this? For example, if your objective is to go back to school and get your degree, what is your compelling reason that will compel you? Because if you rely just on your sense of urgency, you negotiate it. I'll start school in January. January rolls around. You know what? I'll start in the summer. Because something will always come up. But if you have a compelling reason that's, no, I can't wait until June. I've got to get this done right now. You have to have a compelling reason. So sometimes it takes a person, a coach or a mentor or someone to help you understand what that compelling reason is. So there are dynamics, law of attraction, the law of manifestation. It's all based on intent. How badly do you really want what you say you want? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? Can you touch it? Can you see it? Can you hear it? You want your dream home, but right now you may not be living in it. When you walk up on your porch and you put your key in your lock to unlock your front door, are you unlocking the front door to your dream home, even though you're walking into your home you currently have? When you drop your key on the desk, are you dropping your key on the desk in your dream home? When you're cooking dinner, when you're taking a shower, when you're watching television, are you doing these things in your dream home, even though you're in the home you're currently in? You want your dream car. Can you smell the leather? Can you hear the roar of the engine? Can you feel the ride, even though you may be in your hoopty right now? And it's simple, but it's not simple because we react based on what we've been programmed. We, as I stated earlier during this show, the first 21 years are absolutely critical in reference to our blueprint and our current state and what we think. And unless someone gets in there and can shake that up and say, "Whoa, let's do this differently or do this differently," if you're not producing the results that you truly desire, be they spiritual, be they physical, be they financial, be they emotional, you've got to really want what you want.
Now, Kevin, you know what? You got these webinars coming up. I think you said you have 3 of them scheduled?
Yes.
Talk about them real quick because our time is surely drifting away. But let's get on that right quick.
Yeah, we utilize webinars because, number one, we understand that everyone can't come to a physical event, and webinars are wonderful ways of being able to provide information to individuals that may not be able to physically come. And with the webinar, you'll be able to not only listen to the content, you'll be able to see the content. And the reason why that's so important is because, individuals have, we learn in different ways. Some of us are visual, which means we need to see it. We could hear it all day, but we got to see it. Some of us are audio, which means that we need to hear it. Some of us are, we got to be hands-on. We've got to be able to touch it. So a webinar is one of those ways where we can incorporate all three of those learning styles for individuals and we incorporate all three of them, but we just have a predominant one. And we're able to do that. So we have these webinars coming up, and these webinars are really for they're business related, because we do a lot of work with business, people who are in business, people who are attempting, they're trying to decide, should I go into business and things like that. So on October 17th, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a webinar that's entitled Which Business Structure is Best for Me? And during that webinar, it's a 60-minute webinar. We're going to cover the different business structures, and we're going to break them down so that you will understand which one is best for you if you're just starting a business, or maybe you're already in business and you may need to consider changing your business structure. And that's $29.95. We have another one on October 24th, which again, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the title of this one is The 3 Big Mistakes That Entrepreneurs Make and How to Avoid Them. And we're going to really uncover 3 mistakes that pretty much entrepreneurs make. And we're not only going to cover what these mistakes are, but we're going to give you strategies and tools that will show you how to avoid them. And these mistakes are monumental. Not only, will it cost you, can they cost you money and time, but in some cases it could cost a person their dream of owning a business. And then we have the third one, which is November 7th. And it's not October 31st because that's Halloween. That's that weekend, so we skipped that weekend. So November 7th, again, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 60-minute webinar. And the title of that one is Strategies to Take Your Business to 6 Figures and Beyond, because here's a statistic for you. Currently in the United States, there are roughly 28 million small businesses. But out of the 28 million small businesses, about 83% never make it past 6 figures. So this webinar is going to help individuals who are in business with different tools and strategies and ideas and things like that to help increase their bottom line to get them to that 6 figures and beyond. So those are just 3 of the webinars that we have coming up. For those who aren't at a computer, that's fine. You could still call in. Even if you're traveling, you could still call in and hear it, which means you're still getting the information. So, that's why webinars are so important, and that's why they're great. I mean, they're great tools to be able to leverage. And all 3 of these are only $29.95, $29.95. That's the price of, a haircut, or the price of someone, a young lady getting her hair done. Now, are those things important? Absolutely. But let's be real. Will you getting your hair cut or getting your hair done make you a better person? Would it make you a better business owner? Will it put you in a position where you could start and build a successful business? Now, I'm not saying don't get your hair cut and don't get your hair done. I mean, but what I'm saying is $29.95, get it. If you got to borrow it. But you definitely want to be on these webinars. And again, it comes back to that compelling reason. Why are you in business? You need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your business. $29.95. I mean, that's not. And we price it that way intentionally. We understand the economy is tough. You go online right now. Webinars run $150 every 60 minutes and up. I went to one site, Every webinar is $179. But we're talking $29.95 here. So it's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it.
Now, I'm expecting Jeff to be coming in from Sumter, South Carolina. But lastly, man, we got about 5 minutes or so. Give me a highlight of what they can expect on October, 19th?
October 19th?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, yeah, we're excited because this is this is a physical workshop. And for those who are listening, the location is it's 5 minutes from the Tangiers outlet. So after you've come and you've gotten yourself all, you've gotten the information you need and you've got the tools you need, you could just hop around the corner and go to the Tangiers outlet and do some shopping. But we have an 8:30 registration from 8:30 to 9. We're going to have I want to say light breakfast, but it's not breakfast. It's like coffee, juice, pastry, stuff like that. Like continental breakfast? Is that what that's called? I think it's called like continental. Well, maybe not continental, but yeah, we're not going to give you a full breakfast. You're not going to get grits and eggs and sausage and turkey bacon and stuff like that. So if you need to have that stuff, make sure you eat before you get there, and don't come sleepy because eating all that food and you fall asleep and you miss something. But there's an 8:30 to 9 registration, and then there are 3 sessions, and the entire workshop really is designed to help individuals uncover what's blocking them, what their true beliefs are. And we have exercises. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have fun. There are going to be so many breakthroughs. So from understanding what's blocking you, then we'll move into how to get unstuck, and we'll be able to interact, and it's going to be small. So you got to make sure you register because seating is limited. And the reason why we're not going to have 500 people or 1,000 people because we want people to be able to ask questions. We want that interaction. This workshop will not just impact your life on one level. It's going to impact the way you look at relationships. It's going to impact the way you look at yourself. It's going to impact the way you look at your family and friends. It's going to impact the way you look, you interact with people, you interact on your jobs. It's going to impact every aspect of your life. So you definitely don't want to miss it. You're going to leave with tools. You're not just going to come there and not leave with anything, but you will leave different than you came. That's a guarantee. You will leave different. So we've got some great things outlined. We've got some exercises, some group type exercises. You're going to get to meet some people you probably wouldn't have met. So there's going to be some networking. You might meet somebody, and who knows? You guys might hit it off, and you might form something and create the next unbelievable product that changes the world. But we're going to have a great time. Learning and growing and transforming.
All right, Jeff, what do you have, sir?
That sounds great. I'm going to be there, and I encourage everyone who listens to this to go to klauston.com and register as soon as they hear this information and get down there.
One other thing. I apologize. I forgot to say this. When you go to register, there's a coupon. I've created a discount coupon. The price that we set this at is $89, right? But we understand challenges financial, so there is a $30 coupon that when you go to register, when you put in the code. And you've got to go to I'm not going to, the code is right there. You put that code in, it automatically knocks $30 off of it. So technically, it's only $59 for a 3-hour workshop that's going to give the information that we're going to give.
Sounds amazing. Anything else, Cornell?
No, I'm good. I know. My compelling reason. I know why why? I know what. I got to go from St. Louis to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Charlotte, from Charlotte to Charleston. Look here. Somebody say, don't meet me there, beat me there. I already got my compelling reason, so I'm going to do it. So that's what's up.
Well, if it's okay with you guys, I always like to leave, I like to leave with an exercise. I like to give people something to do. Again, it goes back, to that motivation, inspiration, and empowerment. So if I may just give the listeners a quick exercise, and here's the exercise. It's a very simple exercise. Whatever it is that you really want to do, write it down. Write down the top 5 things you want to do. And then after you've identified the top 5 things, break that down and then say, okay, out of these top 5 things, what's the top 3 things, right? And then out of the top 3 things, what's the top 1 thing? And the reason why you do that is because in a lot of cases, when you write down the first 5, then the first 3, it eliminates kind of 2 of them. And then when you get down to that first, that main one, now you have an objective. You have exactly what it is that you need to get done at that particular time. That's the first part of the exercise. Write down the top 5 things you want to do. And then from the top 5, top 3, and then the top 1 thing. Identify that 1 thing. Here's the second part of the exercise. Ask yourself, why is this thing so important? Why is it so important that I get this done? You've got to put a compelling reason to it. And then when you anchor that, when you understand that I've got to get this done for this reason, it's non-negotiable, failure is not an option. What's failure? Failure in my book is only when you quit. If you don't accomplish it the first time, that's not failing. You're just understanding, well, that's not the right way to do it. Let me try it different. So understand what that compelling reason is. Why is it so important? And it has to be something very important. So take that exercise and do that. It takes a few minutes. But it's going to take you time, right? I mean, you may identify that thing in a few minutes or 20 minutes or an hour or whatever, how long it takes. It takes as long as it takes. But make sure you also put that compelling reason to it. So that's the exercise that we want you guys to do that are listening.
Thank you very much for that. I started doing it right as you were telling me. I got 5 things written down. I got a compelling reason. I'm ready to go.
Hey, Kevin. Now in Atlanta, you using a comedian. All we got to do is let Jeff get the mic for a few minutes.
Don't let me have the mic.
I see that.
We will crack the audience up.
That's the worst.
I mean, Jeff is literally one of the best business partners I got in the world. The man,
don't get in a car with me. Long trips around Atlanta. That's not good.
Jeff is something else. But listen, man, that's all I had to get out there. I got my compelling reason. I'll be there. I tell everybody, don't just meet me there, beat me there. I'm gonna create my own little sign. Hey, I'm going. Oh man.
Well, listen, I just want to let you guys know I truly appreciate you guys, and it's been a great opportunity to be on your show, and you guys are doing some great things, and definitely look forward to continuing to work with you and collaborating with you. You guys are doing some great work. So for those of you that are listening, I'm sure you guys have information and whatnot, but these guys do great work. So you definitely want to make sure you reach out to them and give them a call and kind of find out more about what they do.
All right, Jeff, take it away, man.
We're gonna wrap this show up. I thank you very much, Kevin, for being on the phone tonight and taking an hour out of your time and sharing your amazing wealth of information that's life-changing to so many people, and it's going to be life-changing to everyone that takes advantage of this opportunity to really dig into who they are and how they can achieve what they want to in life if they just take the time to focus their mental energy, their mental creativity, their mental character, and transform that into a life that they've always wanted. So that's going to do it for this show for the new you, and we look forward to next week. So be sure to check the message boards for next week's show. We'll be seeing you next week. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.